I'm pretty sure this isn't real. Hey guys, I originally posted this question in r/stupid questions, but for some reason they deleted it and said this was a better forum for my question. I think it has to do with me getting off topic quite a bit, but whatever, who am I to judge? It's strange to me why this particular subreddit would be able to help with my problem, but hey, if they think this is the best way to get advice, who am I to judge? Here's my original post. Hi everyone. I had a bit of a strange occurrence at work today, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't just completely losing it. For some context, I work at an extended stay hotel within Brooklyn, New York. It's not the most luxurious place, it feels a bit on the small side, but we get by. It has 8 floors, and the number of spaces available tends to fluctuate throughout the year, except for the 5th and 6th floors. But over the years, more and more people seem to be moving here on a more permanent basis. The cost per night isn't too bad compared with most extended stay hotels, and as a result, our tenants will often stay for far longer than they probably should be. I've tried talking with the owner about maybe raising the prices a bit, but he keeps saying that it would break his hearts to send them away, and he feels a need to take some pity on our tenants, as quite a few of them are just down on their luck. He says this as he bats both sets of his eyelids, making a sad face. It gets me every time, so I just drop the subject. You know, it reminds me of Mrs. Wilson in 402. She's a widow from somewhere in Europe, I think. Her accent is pretty thick. I've tried on multiple occasions to talk with her when she leaves for her nightly strolls, but after one incident a few days after she moved in, it seems like she wants nothing to do with me. On that day she arrived, it was about midnight. I was a bit irritated as I was just about to clock out, but the manager insisted I help get her bags to her room. I politely obliged. Once there, I felt her grab my head and put her face right up to my neck. It scared me. I've never had a woman be so forward. It wasn't that I disliked the attention, but at least give me some warning first. I noticed she began to cough and back away from me. Is everything okay, ma'am? She just kept coughing. What is that smell on your neck? I thought for a moment. Oh, yeah, I mixed up my cologne bottle this morning with a bottle of garlic water. I've been trying to cover up the smell, but it's been pretty pungent throughout the day. She just kept coughing. Uh, so was there anything else you needed? I felt awkward as I didn't want her to think I was rejecting her, but I could also see whatever attraction she had in that moment was definitely gone now. Just leave! I rushed through the door, gathered the rest of her belongings, and I dropped off the rest of her luggage in a large wooden box that she had brought with her and returned to the front desk. Right, my original question. Sorry, I'm a bit prone to rambling, especially when talking about odd occurrences or fun stories from around the job. The problem I need help with happened with some new guy who was staying here for a while. He seemed like a completely normal dude, just like anyone else that we get around here. For now, I'll refer to him as Norm, for how normal he was. I gave him the usual spiel that the manager wants us to tell new tenants for the few days that they're going to be here. Things like when the payments are due, the policy of what happens when you fail to pay on time, avoiding the right-hand elevator doors, as that's where the giant elevator squid lives. Always make sure to use the left-hand doors. You know, regular stuff. From there, I led him up to his room. He jumped up on the deal we had with our 5th floor rooms. They're the cheapest, yet a lot of people don't really like going to that floor if they can. I think it has to do with the beholder that roams the hallways and vaporizes anyone it sees. For those of you who don't know what a beholder is, it's like a giant floating eyeball with a mouth and a bunch of smaller eyes attached to its body with these like tentacle-like structures. Uh, no one's quite sure when the beholder moved in, but for a while he's created quite a bit of trouble keeping residents to stay on that floor as, I mean, who wants to risk vaporization, am I right? This went on for a while until Jim came to visit. After shooting the shit with him for about an hour, I get a call on the walkie about another beholder cleanup needing to be done. Frustrated, I grabbed my mop and blowtorch and went to go fix the mess. Before I could leave, Jim grabbed me by the hand and out of nowhere placed a paper bag in it. Try using these. Confused, I looked at the bag and gave him the craziest look I could manage. Seriously? He smiled. Trust me. I took the bag and my equipment and went up the left-hand elevator to the 5th floor. When I entered the hall, it wasn't hard to find the mess. I got to work cleaning with my ears alert for the sound of his movements. Beholders give off this weird vibrating sound as they hover from place to place. I'm used to the quick cleanups being a necessity, but I think I got a bit distracted with my cleaning that I didn't exactly hear them this time. I turned to see him grinning with his eye stalks pointed right at me. I shouted, "Wait!" and showed him the brown bag. Curious, he paused my immediate vaporization and gave me a chance to pour out a small pile of Sour Patch Kids. He leapt on it like a dog getting a treat and began devouring it. He finished the lot in one bite, and then to my utter shock, he looked at me and floated away. I'm still surprised to learn that beholders love Sour Patch candies. We've experienced a little with other candies, and after that, and it seems like it's only interested in either Sour Patch Kids or the watermelons. We noticed giving it the kids gives you like safe passage for around 10 minutes. The watermelon seems to make him docile for everyone for almost like an hour, though he seems to tire of it quickly if you try giving it too often. Since then, we have a new deal for those who live on the 5th floor. You get a daily ration of Sour Patch Kids. We saved the watermelon for special occasions. Oh, right, forgot about Norm. So, I taught him all the stuff about dealing with the beholder, and I showed him to his room, and the guy was perfectly fine for like the first 2 days. On the 3rd day of his trip, I had to finish my round. My last job before going back to the front desk for collecting today's payments was assisting Mr. and Mrs. Braxley in room 107. Mr. Braxley is a delightful fellow with a real handlebar mustache, always wearing nice suits that match really well with his brownish scales and claws. You can always tell he's happy with how his antenna kind of moves certain ways. As for Mrs. Braxley, she's a lovely woman. I'm pretty sure they're both English from the way that their accent sounds. She in particular loves wearing these beautiful sundresses, different ones for every occasion. Her brown fur and tail always match well with what she's wearing, and you can barely notice her large front teeth when she smiles. They seem like such a happy couple. I really hope I can find a relationship like theirs one day. Anyways, that morning, I was finishing up the deliveries. We don't really have room servers anymore, not since Bill tried to make another run for the door and slammed into one of the other full-time employees, which knocked him out and broke his leg. He quit right after that. But I love the Braxleys so much, I agreed to in exchange for a small tip, that I would deliver them some basic needs every so often. This time it was their usual delivery of tea and crumpets. Mrs. Braxley opened the door, smiled at me, taking the items with a thank you. I could smell the scent of the ocean from their room. Yet it always sounded like flowing water. It's so weird, almost like a river was rushing by. I gave a slight nod as I moved back to the front desk. On my way there, I had to stop and chase off Mr. Olstein. He's an older gentleman who doesn't actually live here. He kind of looks as if a raccoon took human form, and kind of acts like it too. Every time we catch him in the most unusual places or areas he shouldn't be, and he's always trying to steal anything that isn't bolted to the floor. Any type of amenities like soaps, toilet paper, etc., he'll just carry as much as he can and scurry off. I think he knows where the security cameras in the hotel are broken too, because he always has an escape path that prevents us from figuring out where he's hiding, for where he hides the items that he takes. The strangest moment, though, was the time I was helping to clean out a room where the ceiling had collapsed due to some water damage. And sure enough, Mr. Olstein was hiding in the fucking ceiling, hissing at us and throwing things to try and make us leave him alone. We have no idea how he keeps getting in the building. My personal belief is he found a secret entrance that lets him live in the walls, but the owner is certain that he just has the ability to walk through solid matter. Sometimes I don't think that theory is as crazy as it sounds. Anyways, this time was more of an easier chase. He hadn't stolen much, so it was more like a quick shoo out the door before I was able to make my way back to the front desk. Like clockwork, Norm arrived exactly on time. He handed me his stack of bills and checked out, and we haven't seen him since. Here's where we get to my issue. As I was loading his bills into the till, I noticed one sticking out in a way that I hadn't seen before. A pulled out the bill and saw it was a $60 note. That's fake, right? I don't know if I just happened to miss something, or if this was just a bad type of forgery. I know I should have been paying more attention before letting him leave, but now I'm worried if all of his transactions might have had some counterfeits in them. I spoke with my manager, and he assures me that this is a real bill. I have no idea what he's talking about, though, and I think he's starting to lose it. If anyone could message me just to confirm that it's a fake and that there's no such thing as a $60 bill, I would be greatly appreciated so I can start the process of tracking him down. Thanks for your help, Phil.